Hi, I'm Kevin Orman, the Master of Self-Leadership. Welcome to Leadership U. Today we'll be talking more about how you can become the recognized expert in your field and in your business and in your area. Welcome to Leadership U, where it really is all about you. Now, one of the skill sets that you must develop in order to become this recognized expert that we're talking about is the ability to speak and to speak well. The better you can do this, the better it'll work, the better you'll be able to communicate with other people, and the better your ideas will be received, and the more people will view you as that expert. Now, there are some very interesting things about this. First of all, the fear of public speaking. When they do studies, they find out that the fear of public speaking is number one fear that people tend to have. Number two is death. In other words, most people would rather be in the box than give the eulogy at the funeral, and that's something that just doesn't fit with me. But I'll tell you, I understand it, because there was a time when I was a lot more afraid of speaking in public than I am today, and there were a lot of things that I learned and a lot of things that I didn't know, and I'm still learning. It's an ongoing process, as I've talked about before. Self-leadership and leadership is a constant learning process. And it is important that you recognize that it becomes a lifestyle, and you've got to learn more every day. In order to get your message out there, in order to become that recognized expert, we talked last time about writing books and how that helps. But actually speaking in front of people and groups of people, that is the way you can actually really connect with people, because then people say, gosh, I like this guy or this girl or this person. I like this person, and I would like to, work with them some more on this or that or the other, whatever it is. And this is then how your business will start to grow. Additionally to that, if you can get good at this, then all of a sudden other people like you, like your spouse, like your kids or your grandkids or whatever else, your family, because the more you're able to communicate effectively, the more you're able to connect with people. And that's really what it's about, because this connection is such a critical thing. Now, the communication process is very complicated. There's a lot more to discuss about that than we can cover in this one little video. But the concept is that you really need to learn how to do this. And you need to learn how to get good enough at it that you become relatively comfortable at it. Now, don't expect to ever completely get past the butterflies, at least. I've done it thousands and thousands of times. I have spent tens of thousands of hours up in front of groups of people, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people all over the world. And even now, just before I get up, there's a little bit of a butterfly. Now, once I get started, it's gone. But prior, there's a little bit of a butterfly still. So that's the good news, because that still keeps the edge there, so that I don't become complacent and think I've got it wired and think it's going to be wonderful. It keeps me on the game so that I am doing the best job I can possibly do every single time that I speak. And that's one of the key issues. That's one of the character traits of a good leader, is that integrity to always give the best you have to give at that given point in time. Some days that's more than others for any of a myriad of reasons. Maybe you're ill, maybe, who knows, a death in the family. Let me tell you a story. I was in Phoenix, Arizona, giving an all-day seminar several years ago. And so I'm getting ready for this seminar. And shortly before the seminar starts, my phone rings. And I pick up the phone, and it is my son. And he tells me that his wife, my daughter-in-law, has gone into labor, and they're taking her into the hospital to have a grandchild. And so, I'm excited. I'm feeling great. This made it really easy to step on the stage and just be excited. I told people what was going on, and that was great. So then during a morning break, I get another call from my son. He says, we've had the baby. It's a little girl. Everybody's fine, and it's great. So now I'm really excited and really happy. And the next time when I stand up in front of the people, I mentioned that it happened. Everybody's cool, congratulations, all that stuff. and that was great, and so on and so forth. And so what, it's like, this is a banner day. This is a wonderful day. Things are going great. And I'm thinking, wow, this is really cool. So then at lunch break, I get a call from a friend, and he said, your best friend just had a stroke and died. And I mean, it's not a funny thing, but imagine how I went from this high emotionally and everything else down to this low just instantly. And so then I had to still get up in front of this group of people and speak to them that day. So after lunch, I got up in front of everybody and I told them what had happened. And I said, well, I'm going to give you the best I've got, but if my energy's not quite as good as it was this morning, you'll understand why. And so that's what happened. And I did a good job, and I did the best I could possibly do at that time. And the energy probably wasn't as good as it was in the morning because of what had happened. And I had to focus mentally. I had to make sure and be focusing on what I was doing and what was good and so on and so forth. That's just one of the challenges you have as a speaker. Life continues, and you have to deal with that when you're dealing with this. But in the process of that, I did a good job, and the integrity was still fulfilled and all of that. That's just an example of what can happen. It can happen to anybody. And so I want you to understand that that's just part of the deal. And so, if I'm scheduled to speak and I don't quite feel like speaking, that doesn't matter. I'm a professional. I stand up and I give it the best I've got. That's one of the things you've got to learn to do, is that professionalism, whatever it happens to be. So it enables you, and it enables me and all of us to then become that recognized expert. Someone who is, everybody says, wow, even with all this stuff going on, look what a great job this person is doing. And I'm not sure I could do it under those circumstances. So what that does is that ups your credibility, and they say, gosh, this guy really is an expert. And or this person really is an expert. And for you, that just understand that those things happen, and recognize that you just get up and be transparent and do the best you possibly can. So that's one of the first tips about the speaking. And that speaking, there's a lot of things. We could spend years working on this issue. There's just so much that we can talk about here. But I want you to just understand the concept, because that is one of the ways and one of the critical skills you must develop if you want to become that recognized expert that we've been talking about. So that's Leadership U for today. We'll talk more about these kinds of things in the next installment, and we'll see you on the flip side. Subscribe here to Leadership U to make sure you get all the videos. Also, you can watch more videos from here, including 2 that I've shown, my speaker reel, and also one I call Leadership Elephants in You. Also from here, you can go ahead and then get to my website to find out more about my speaking, books, and other things. Have a great day. See you on the flip side.